Alright, so let's start this up and take it around the block. One of the first things I'm going to do is make sure that the brakes are working well, because we did a complete brake rebuild. So before I get it up to speed and start worrying about how the transmission works and shifts, I'm going to make sure that these brakes work okay. Oh yeah, they work great. No problem there. Okay. Shifts perfectly smooth. Can't even feel it. But I think we've only gotten into second gear, so we'll try to get into the higher gears here, and then we'll go back and check the transmission fluid level, because as we go into all the different gears, it's very possible that it could use up some of that fluid, filling some voids in the transmission. Brakes are nice and smooth, grab really good, no spongy feeling or anything. Speed here. I've only been up to about 20 miles per hour so far. Here we go. Perfect. No weird noises or anything. Perfectly quiet. Okay, we'll get this up to a higher speed now. There we go, into third gear. Brakes are great, perfectly smooth. The only thing that I noticed is the e-brake, you have to pull it up pretty far and it never gets really tight, so we may need to do some adjustments there on the e-brake. There's a lockup torque converter, 50 miles an hour, went down to about 1,000 RPM. So it looks like everything works in the transmission. I can't believe how smooth it is. This transmission is actually smoother than a lot of the new transmissions on new cars. I don't even feel it shift, it's so smooth. Okay, now we got it up to temperature, so we'll leave the engine running when we pull it into the garage, and we'll check the transmission level, make sure it's where it should be. Then we'll also put it back up on the lift and check for any kind of leaks. Alright, so let's take a look under here. Make sure there's no leak around any of the brakes. No leaks around the bell housing where the rear main seal is, or the transmission. Everything looks pretty dry. That looks good. See, drive shaft, got a new seal in here. Looks dry. Take a look at the rear brakes. Looks good. Over the passenger side. Looks pretty dry to me. Okay, I think we're gonna call this a wrap. Looks like everything turned out like it should. One mark check. We'll check the brakes here. Make sure that they're releasing. Because as you recall, we weren't able to turn this wheel before. It spins very, very easy and freely. And let's check the driver's side. Perfect. And now let's check on the front side of the oil pan here where we had some leakage before. And it looks all dry. And oil filter housing looks dry. Well, for the most part, we're pretty much done with this car. Everything turned out pretty well. Transmission rebuild was successful, and the brake rebuild was successful as well. There's still a few things that need attention in the car. For instance, the speakers in the rear of the car, they don't sound very good, and the left side of the driver's side one doesn't work at all. So I may go ahead and address that. Also, the cable release for the hood is broken on the inside. I have a new one on order, so it may take care of that as well. Also, some of the door switches that operate the windows on the driver's side are kind of messed up, so we may end up replacing the bezel that goes in there and clean that up a bit as well. There's also a little bit of a sag in the driver's door. The door hinge on these things are notorious for wearing. There's a little brass bushing, and on the bottom hinge, it tends to wear very quickly, and then the door starts to sag. So may get a hinge kit and repair that as well. But other than that, I think we're pretty much done. So anyway, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.